What's going on, guys? I'm Venomousfatman, and here's a brand new OTGT for all of you out there. This time I'm talking about one of my most favorite games ever. Part of one of my most favorite franchises ever. I'm talking about Final Fantasy X for the PlayStation 2 Entertainment System. So, here's the front. This is the greatest hits version, by the way. Here's the back. You can see that. See all Yuna looking all pretty and stuff. But anyway, I love Final Fantasy. It's one of my most favorite franchises, period. I've played most of the games in the entire series, savor some of the spin-offs and such that everybody kind of skips over or doesn't really talk about. But I've played most of the franchise. I love it. I think it's amazing. What I really love about Final Fantasy X is for a couple reasons. Number one, if you have not played it, let me give you kind of a little nutshell summary. This is about the world's called Spira, and about pretty much the evil that is called Sin, which looks like a giant whale, if you really have to visualize it. If you haven't seen videos of it anywhere, it looks like a giant whale. Pretty much, it mostly centers around this one character named Titus, who unexpectedly gets sent from his homeworld almost 1,000 years or a couple thousand years into the future to the world of Spira. And he actually meets up with a couple of different other characters and joins them on their quest to defeat Sin, which is the main baddie of the whole game. Now, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that happens into there. I'm not going to spoil it because an RPG story is meant to be experienced on there, so definitely you should check out this game. It's one of my most favorite of the Final Fantasies. It's not my overall favorite, but it is one of my best picks out there because of a couple reasons. Number one, the story is amazing. Story, Nobuo Uematsu did the music. Tetsuya Nomura pretty much did the design for the characters and such. Sakaguchi pretty much, added his input into the game. Whole bunch of stuff goes on in here. Okay, really, it is a masterpiece for the PlayStation 2. Anybody that's owned a PlayStation 2 or has played on a PlayStation 2 and just recently got one and such, because it could go for pretty cheap right now, you have to own this game, because even if you're not really an RPG guy, you should really experience this game at least once. Because this game is really a testament to how great the PlayStation 2 entertainment system was back in the day. When this first came out, this was like the hottest craze at the moment, because this was the first Final Fantasy to actually use real voices, for the characters and such, aside from the different types of grunts and things like that, or the text. This was the one that actually hired up voice actors and gave the characters more life through the use of their voices. So it was really cool. Nobuo Uematsu does some of the most best video game music, hands down. He's done pretty much the music for almost all the Final Fantasy games, and this one is no exception, of his talent. He's one of the best video game soundtracks I've ever listened to, because all the tracks in here are amazing. The game, what it's so good at, and you find this with a lot of RPGs, I've said it plenty of times in the past, is that it creates such a great atmosphere. You kind of get immersed so much into the story and to the world of what, Titus is a part of, or what these characters are part of. You're not really caring so much about the gameplay. You want to know and experience and interact with this world a lot more. And that's why this game is so good. Now, besides the story and the whole atmosphere set up in the music and such, the graphics look amazing. For a PlayStation 2 game, it is off the chain. Back in the day, these were the types of graphics we were going like, oh my god, that can't be, in-game graphics. Overall, not all the stuff is like the same level of quality. There's a lot of high quality scenes, like pre-rendered stuff, when certain actions or certain events occur into the game, you actually get some pretty cool cutscenes, whether it's like introducing a new character or some traumatic event that goes on. They look really decent. But even the in-game graphics themselves look pretty good for a PlayStation 2 game. And everything is pretty much seamless. There's not really a lot of load times. The only real loading you're ever really going to probably notice or even experience, for that matter, is going to be loading up your save data from your memory card. Because Square Enix has this thing where they're really good at masking load times. Like, it's very rare that you'll find in a Square Enix game where the load times are so, in your face apparent. Like, everything is just so seamless and it's so smooth. So, that's how you go easily get immersed, that you're not really playing a game, you're actually experiencing a great story. So, that's one of the reasons why I love Square Enix, period. But anyway, okay, besides that, the battle system. This is probably one of the best battle systems ever. I know it's straight up old school, traditional turn-based, really similar to most of the other, iterations into the series, like some of the older Final Fantasies. It's just straight up turn-based. But what this one does so well, to be honest with you, is it keeps it simple as far as, the turn-based combat. It's not active battle time or active time battle, but you know it has like a little thing that displays pictures of who's going to go in what turn in succession. So it's not like in the older games where even though it's turn-based, you kind of do your actions, and whoever's got the best speed, usually, by guess, is usually the one to go first. This one you kind of know what's coming, so you can plan out your strategies ahead. Everything is so clearly brought out in front of you, the health bars, nothing's clashing with another. You get your info screen on the top screen, which gives you the information that you need when you have the scan ability, and it's detailed enough where it'll be able to not only still be challenging, but also to allow you to formulate good strategies, over the course of whatever fight that you're getting into, whether it's normal enemies or boss battles and such. And speaking of boss battles in this game are amazing. Some of the best boss battles ever in the franchise, or at least the most best looking boss battles ever in the franchise, are in this game. I know a lot of people will disagree with me. Some people will lean over towards Final Fantasy VII. Some people will lean over to Final Fantasy VI even, as far as like epic boss battles. This one, in my opinion, has the best looking because obviously it's done in 3D and there's a lot more stuff added to it to make it, give it that more flair, give it that more polish and stuff. And it really works for it because, for example, one of the best fights in the game, besides fighting Sin and stuff as you get towards later on in the game, there's a guy called Seymour that he's like, at first you don't know who he is, like whether he's a good or bad guy, but later on you end up fighting him. And one of the things that's pretty cool is that he ends up calling a summon. In this game, the summons, they're not called summons, they're called aeons. They give them different names in each one of the games in the franchise. But he calls out this summon and it just looks so crazy in this enclosed space, and all the fight, everything's so epic on so many levels. It just looks really good, guys. So, besides that, what else can I really much say about this game? The environments look crazy. There's a ton of different variety of enemies, that you could expect in any Final Fantasy game. Magic, it's crazy. What is it? The leveling system, the sphere grid. The sphere grid is probably one of the best, innovative leveling systems in all the Final Fantasy games, because you have the traditional style, which you gain the experience, you get a certain type of upgrade every time you level up and such, or you could junction specific type of magic to yourself. The reason why I love the sphere grid is because you level up, but it allows you to move your actual piece, like an actual marble, over this grid, and you get to choose exactly what upgrades that you want at what specific times. That's really cool because it gives me more customization. It allows me to become more adaptive to whatever situation may be coming up or that I know is coming up and things like that. And plus, it's easy to kind of get a follow-on. Now, besides all that, besides the main story and everything, there's a ton of side quests, getting legendary weapons, playing blitzball, which is kind of like the equivalent of, like, I guess you could say, like, what a football or a type of, like, soccer would be in this game, the equivalent of what that would be in real life, so, involving water and such. There's a whole bunch of other little side missions, the monster captures and stuff in order to create the ultimate weapon, or, to fight the ultimate weapon, I should say. There's a whole bunch of areas to discover, little secrets and things like that. There's a lot of bang for your buck on this one disc for a PlayStation 2 game. It's really cool, so anybody that has not played this game, if you're not really too well versed in RPGs, this is a must play and you really need to actually experience this at least one time. Your quality as a gamer depends on it. Let me put it that way, guys. It's that good of a game. But anyway, that's just my opinion, guys. It might sound a little bit fanboyish at first, but trust me, this game is really worth your time. It's really awesome. Everybody should at least play this game once. But leave your comments and video responses, guys. I don't mind. Just keep it civil. Let me know what you guys think of this game. If you guys think it's awesome, if you guys hate it, you like Final Fantasy, you hate Final Fantasy, you like the art style or whatnot, anything about it, put it in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. That's all I got for you guys. I'm VFM, and that has been only the goddamn truth, guys. Talk to you all later.